So I saw a Reddit thread when I woke up this morning, and I know I need to make the video recapping Evo, and I'm gonna do that later. But I'm still waiting for the actual photo albums from Evo, but I might just do it without those. And so I actually took pictures this time. But this video is gonna focus on the Pokken scene, kind of, and where it's at the moment. Because honestly, I love Pokken, but the scene, it's not really the scene, but like the viewership around Pokken right now isn't honestly, it's not the best. But what sparked this was this Reddit thread. I'll put the first post of it on the screen for everyone to see. But just reading the thread and seeing, like, the gist of it was, what can I do as a person to help the Pokken scene grow from where it is? Because honestly, it's not in the best spot. If you go to Pokken on Twitch at any given time, you're lucky to see 100 active viewers watching Pokken at any given time. Besides when it's not a major event going on. But even at major events like Pokemon US Nationals, I like 2,000 viewers. That's really, issue with that is the Pokemon company keeps putting Pokken on like this Pokken channel, but Pokken is at a spot right now where people aren't looking for Pokken content. I just kind of want to address, because I remember there was another thread posted by DC, and he was basically talking about, we need to go out and make more Pokken content, like show people interest in our game, which I also agree with that. I think the top players should stream more Pokken when they can, because right now it's pretty much a Suicune Master. And I've talked to Catfight, and he's mentioned that he's just unable to, but he's hoping to be able to soon, but right now he just can't. But it's like, even myself, and let me stress this, I'm not saying I'm a top player, because definitely I'm not. But I used to be, I could be wrong, but I was pretty sure I used to be one of the more popular Pokken streams. Like, people followed me in the Pokken scene before I really knew who they were, because of me streaming. But recently, I honestly haven't been streaming Pokken. I want to change that and do some more, but for a while, I haven't been streaming Pokken like I used to. And it's just that, when someone comes into the scene and they're like, oh, I want to stream it because I like this game enough, no one watches. I think more so than there needing to be more Pokken content, people need to be more actively watching what's there. Let me give you an example. So I do like Versus series for Smash, obviously. Those videos, I honestly don't know. I'm surprised the YB has as many ones as it does. I mean, I know why it does, but I'm still really surprised it's almost at 10,000. I never imagined that when I made that video. Or even the other ones doing as well as they are, but like the Pokken ones don't do as well. I mean, it's fine. I still do it because I like doing it, but also I did them with friends and not really known players. Obviously, I could ask like Catfight or Suicune Master to do one, but it's like, in my mind, I want those videos to show something. Let me just stress this. Another reason why I'm terrible at like doing daily uploads of videos that aren't crew battles is like when I make a video, I feel like it needs to be thorough and it needs to show something. Gonna go off topic for a little bit to explain this. It needs to show something, and that's why I don't constantly put out videos of just matches or whatever, because I want to show you something different or something that you could learn from more so than just here's a video. So that's why I don't make a ton of Smash 4 tutorials all the time or a ton of Pokken style tutorials. Like, I have something simple, just make a Twitter clip and then maybe make it put them all into a video at another point. But like, let's take even the Blaziken stance video. Now, I'm going to say this straight up and be honest with you, how that video, basically the video took at about the same time I would have put in any Smash video. I didn't make it quick. I didn't cut corners. A lot of work, a lot of editing went into that video because I wanted it to be something big because I like the game enough. I think this would be really huge for the characters it works for. Now I got like almost 2,000 views at the point of me recording this, which honestly for that style of video on my channel is low. Now, Smash 4 is obviously a more popular game, but at the same vein, I still find people that play Blaziken or play one of the other characters that don't know the video or the sheet I made for that even exists. Even when I made the video, and this is something to this day I'm still not super proud of. Like, when I made it, I just knew, like, okay, I want people to see this. I think it could be good. Even like when I made the sliding pivot video for Smash 4, I wanted people to see that because that was at a time after Apex. I was super concerned that Smash 4 was going to just die after Apex 2015 because it was just like not super big. So when I noticed that, I spent a lot of time working on that and like labbing it out on every character because I wanted it to be something that could help. Now, if you would have asked me the video has as many views as it would, I would laugh at you. I thought that thing would barely have 5,000. I ended up doing a lot more than that. But when it came to the Pokken video, for the stance video for Blaziken, and it works on a couple other characters, like, when I first made it, I was super worried. Same thing. I'm not known for making Pokken content. I'm not. I don't make a lot of it, but even the ones I do make don't really get views. So it's like, in my mind, okay, I need to approach someone that can. So I honestly went and asked Shofu, and I'm saying this to be 100% honest. I'm not super proud of this, but I did it because I felt like if I wanted the video to actually do well and actually like have people see it, I needed help. So I went and asked him to like it, and he did it for me. So the video went up in views. But even still, like, so this, okay, so it is hard to say because I don't want to sound like a dick or anything about it, but it's like, when it comes to people actually making content, it's a lot about supply and demand. So I'm still a fledgling in a lot of this stuff. I'm much more experienced in Twitch and definitely don't know a lot about YouTube. But like I said, when you go and watch Pokken on Twitch, you're very lucky to see 100 concurrent viewers at any given time. Extremely lucky if the game has more than that. Now, is that because people aren't streaming? Yeah, part of that is people aren't streaming. But another thing is people aren't watching. So let's put this in perspective. You have someone who's making, so they stream on Twitch and it's like, that's their career. They make money for doing this. Now, are they going to stream Pokken Tournament where they're lucky to get maybe a half or a third of their normal viewership? Or are they going to stream, just for the sake of argument, Smash 4, where they can get their normal consistent viewership, if not near that, because the Smash, like, people are more interested currently in Smash. Even on YouTube, Shofu made another Pokken video before Evo and made like, I don't know how much it has now. I didn't check before this, but it had like a third of what his other Pokemon videos have. If you read the comments, some people are like, oh, I'm happy to see you making more Pokemon content. I really enjoy this game. But more people are like, this game is still a thing? I thought it was dead. I think more so what we need, instead of just, you know, we need, obviously there needs to be more content. Like I said, top players need to stream more. I need to stream more Pokken. Like, you need it needs to be out there for people to see and learn from, so they can be hyped up for these events. But also people need to just be looking at Pokken stuff. I mean, there's Pokken tournaments all the time. They barely crack 40 viewers if they're not majors, and then majors, if they're not on a major network, they don't get that many. Like, let's just look at Evo, okay? So Pokken tournament at Evo had 23.9K as a peak. It was the lowest viewed game of all the games at Evo. I mean, just honestly, just think about that. Pokken Tournament had the least amount of views of any game at Evo. You think like, well, you know, it's a new game, a new scene. Okay, it had less views, but the thing, okay, this is the thing that hits me, is like, yeah, it's new, but the game isn't like, not like it just came out yesterday. The game's been out for a couple months now, but it had less views than Killer Instinct, which, if you would have asked me, Pokken definitely seemed like it was doing better off than Killer Instinct, but Killer Instinct outdid it in views. Killer Instinct was also later in the day. And for comparison's sake, Smash 4, which had like the worst time slot possible for a game of its size, had 71.1K. Like, it crushed it in views for the time slot it had, and then Pokken followed it up, and like people were saying, like, from Smash 4 to Pokken, the stream lost 40,000 viewers. Like that's a serious issue right now. I think that's the biggest issue, because I think besides just making content, people need to be actively looking and supporting the people who already do make content. I don't think, yeah, if Shofu came back and started streaming a bunch more Pokken, I mean, that's how I got into it. I saw Shofu playing it, and it looked really cool. Then I went to his house and played it a bit before it came out, and that's like when I started getting into it and started really wanting to figure out the game to learn how to play it well. But like, even if he comes back, that's not gonna, like, I mean, not really comes back, because he's still playing the game. He likes it enough to keep playing it. But like, my point is, even if Shofu went back to making a bunch of Pokken content, if people are not watching Pokken, it's not really going to change anything. So I think the biggest thing that the community could do is help the people that are already making content. Like, support them. Make it so more people get more exposure, because like, on Twitch and YouTube, it's honestly, the more I get into it, the more I'm realizing it's all a numbers game, pretty much. If you can get the amount of numbers that your content is more easily viewed by people that normally don't watch you, or normally wouldn't watch that, and it just pops up for them, they're going to start gravitating towards it, and it's going to become more interesting to them. And they might end up following you and supporting you. But it's like, Well, this is kind of a two-part thing. I don't only want to talk about that side. I also think in terms of tournaments, I was talking with some people on one of the Discords, and they're like, you know what, we should side with the FGC and get some of their events. Honestly, I think Pokken should work more towards being in Smash events. Because the thing about it is, every single major FGC event where Pokken is, guess what else is there? Smash 4. You want to know why? They have the setups that Pokken needs to play. It's not a mysterious surprise. It's not something that just popped out of nowhere. It's literally, FGC events don't use Wii U's. So if you really want to get an event, you're better off asking Smash events sometimes to be like, hey, can we run Pokken here? You already got the setups. You can set aside a couple for us, and we can run an event. Maybe it'd be like a side event starting off, but it'd become a big thing, and that's good exposure on a channel that is not the Pokken channel, where it's not going to get views. It could be on Smash Studios, VG Bootcamp, on one of these other major streams that would bring in good views and get more people interested. That was the big thing about Apex. Apex was on Team Spooky. I think next year Apex is getting its own channel, but like Apex was on Team Spooky this year. And when it was happening, Pokken had really good views. After Pokken Tournament, a bunch of people saw that finals were like, you know what, I really want to get into Pokken. They wanted to start playing again. I remember for me, after I kind of backed off from it. I still liked playing the game, when I was going to enter these tournaments still, but like, it was DreamHack Austin. After I watched DreamHack Austin, I really wanted to get back into it. I have to thank Catfight a lot, because I remember I asked him, he's like, hey, can I go with you to this tournament, and can I stay at your place afterwards? He said, sure. And like, that was when those Nebulous in New York was like my first major Pokken tournament event. But like after, it's like, okay, I want to get better. I want to keep up with these guys. So I owe him a lot for letting me go with him and stuff. And even now, like, we'll hang out at events and stuff. So, but I don't know. I'm kind of going off topic, but my train of thought is pretty much it's more than just people need to make more content, because character guides are nice, tutorials are nice, but if no one's watching those, you can't expect people to make something if the demand's not there, because a lot of this stuff is supply and demand. So if I'm going to invest my time, because again, the stance video was not something I just threw together. That took as much time as any Smash 4 video that I make. So like, if I'm going to spend the time to make that video, like objectively looking at it, and I didn't like, if I'm a person who wants to make content or do this for a living or whatever, if I'm going to spend time to make a video for a game where I'm going to get a third of the views, why don't I just make a similar video for another game where the views I'm obviously going to get more views for the same amount of work. So that's what I see as the issue right now with Pokken. So I honestly love it. I want to see this game do well. I want to see it grow. I want to see it more events. But I feel like people are looking at it the wrong way. I think the issue is not there is not enough content. I think the issue is there's not enough demand. It's all supply and demand. If the demand isn't there, no matter how much you supply it and people aren't looking for it, then it's not going to happen. So like, my advice for people wanting to support the Pokken scene, honestly, go out and support the people making content for the game. Like channels like A-Star and Styles got big during the start of Smash 4. People were interested and were looking for Smash 4 content, and they stuck around. But for Pokken stuff, it's mostly dried up. Unless you are already a known person in the Pokken scene, good luck. Honestly, I think that's honestly the way that's the way it is in a game that's somewhat like. Okay, so let me do another comparison here. I was gonna wrap it up, but this made me think of a couple more things. So like in Smash 4, I'm not really known super well. I'm pretty much just a meme. It's fair enough. It is what it is. But in Pokken, I'm known by players because I go to events enough, so people will know me for the way I play. So a decent amount of players will know me for that. But when it comes to actually being known for Pokken, I'm not. I'm probably, not to be over cocky or anything, but in terms of the Pokken community, I'm probably one of the more well-known people overall for Pokken. But in the scene itself, I'm not known at all. So, I mean, what does that say? So, this is me as someone who already has a following. I already have 4,000 followers on Twitch. I have almost 1,500 followers on Twitter. But when it comes to wanting to be known in the game that I enjoy, I'm not known in it. Like, people might have heard of me, but people don't know who I am. Part of that is, of course, all these games, is you're known if you're winning. But as someone who wants to make content for a game, and you're just not known, what do you like? Honestly, what are you supposed to do? So that's kind of where I see an issue with Pokken right now. I feel like yes, there needs to be more FCC events, but I don't see Pokken being in FCC events without Smash 4. So that's the case. Why not try and be in more Smash events? It's more events either way. And the problem with Pokken only events is they don't get views. They don't. True sucks. It's not the best thing in the world, but right now, Pokken only events do not get views. They don't. Compared to if it was on another channel with other games at an event, it doesn't get nearly the amount of views you think it would. So that's my kind of take on what I think is currently the problems with Pokken. Hope you guys enjoyed and hope for some feedback in the comments and discuss it, because I mean, I really, really want to see Pokken succeed. The same worries I had with Smash 4 at last Apex, which thank goodness I'm wrong. Smash 4 is doing incredibly well right now, and I'm very happy about that. But currently, Pokken's in the same spot. Right now, it looks like it's on its last legs. EVO was a very good event, had good entrants, but let's be honest, a lot of those people signed up for EVO before they even knew if they liked the game or not. They saw it at EVO and they signed up. Many pools had many people get DQ'd that just did not show up because they didn't want to compete in it. We're being honest about this stuff. So you can't really just look at EVO to be like, this is the shining example that we're going to make it. Because honestly, it's not. There's a very solid chance that Pokken could fall off. I mean, I don't want to see that happening. But I think the best way to make it not happen is support the people making content for it. Support the people making content. Make more content. Because yes, more content is needed. But again, it's supply and demand. If the demand is not there, no matter how much you supply it, nothing's going to change.